We're still reviewing stuff that we need to know for calculus. So I want you to think about last year we talked about curve sketching. Yay! We're not quite there yet, but we are talking about some things that we did in curve sketching. We found intercepts and we found whether a function was even, odd, or neither. And those were some of the things that helped us do the curve sketching, if you remember that. Well, we're going to remember how to do intercepts and even, odd, and neither. We're going to figure out whether a function is even or odd and whether or where its intercepts are. So first things first, let's take a look at intercepts. So remember, an intercept is where it crosses over that axis. Okay, so the x-intercept is where it crosses the x-axis. And if you think about what is y equal to, here we're at the x-axis, right here. What's y equal to right here? Well, it's equal to 0, right? Y is always equal to 0 at the x-axis. And what about on the y-axis? What's x equal to? Well, x is equal to 0. So that's how we know what to do. If we want to find the x-intercept, it's wherever y is equal to 0. If we want to find the y-intercept, it's wherever x is equal to 0, because that's what would make it on that axis, okay? So we're going to find the x and y-intercepts for this equation, y squared minus 3 equals x. So let's start with the easier of the two, and you might not recognize which one that is right away, but you might hopefully recognize that if we set y equal to 0, this is actually really easy. So y equals 0. What intercept is that? That's the x-intercept, right? Because it tells us where it hits the x-axis. So this is the x-intercept. Y equals 0. So we're going to have 0 squared minus 3 equals x. So x equals negative 3. So this crosses over the x-axis at x equals negative 3. Now intercepts, I just put a box around that, but I didn't do that right because intercepts are points. Intercepts are points, not just a term. So like if we ask for the zeros, we're just going to write x equals, and then we're going to write some number. But if we ask for intercepts, we're going to do a coordinate point, okay? So what is the coordinate point that would go here? It'd be negative 3, 0. That's our intercept. Okay, what's our y-intercept now? So our y-intercept is going to be where x equals 0. So let's set x equal to 0. Y squared minus 3 equals 0. Now let's solve. So we add 3 to both sides. We have y squared equals 3. Then we take the square root of both sides. And this is where you need to be really cautious because we just get going so fast that we're like, oh, that's the square root of 3. Well, actually, it's y equals plus or minus the square root of 3, right? Because positive square root of 3 squared could be 3, or negative square root of 3 squared could be 3. So those are our two places where this crosses the y-axis. So our two intercepts there would be 0, root 3, and 0, negative root 3. So if it asks for all of our intercepts, these are all three of our intercepts as points, not as just values, okay?